To hear this and many more audiobooks in a podcast feed, please visit the first link in the description below. Thank you for your support. The Governance of China, Volume 3 by Xi Jinping. Audiobook, Part 14. Harmony between humanity and nature. Principles to apply in protecting the eco-environment. Part of the speech at the National Conference on Eco-Environmental Protection, May 18th, 2018. Protecting the eco-environment is a major political issue related to the mission and purpose of the CPC. It is also a major social issue related to people's well-being. The party has always attached great importance to this issue and established resource conservation and environmental protection as a fundamental national policy and sustainable development as a national strategy. As economic and social development proceeds, our comprehension of the overall plan for building socialism with Chinese characteristics has evolved from the two progresses in the 1980s to the three-sphere plan in the 1990s, to the four-sphere plan in 2007, and to the five-sphere integrated plan today. Footnote 1. The two progresses refers to China's plan for material and cultural progress. End of footnote 1. Footnote 2. The three-sphere plan refers to China's plan for economic, political, and cultural progress. End of footnote 2. Footnote 3. The four-sphere plan refers to China's plan for economic, political, cultural, and social progress. End of footnote 3. Returning to the main text. The process represents a major practical and theoretical innovation which has brought about a profound change in China's philosophy and model of development. The principal challenge facing our society is the gap between unbalanced and inadequate development and the ever-growing expectation of the people for a better life. To meet the people's need for a quality eco-environment has become an important element of this challenge. The general public is looking forward to a rapid improvement. Their aspiration for a better life is the goal of our party, and solving their most pressing and immediate concerns is our mission. The people's support is our top political priority. Therefore, we should respond to the people's opinions, hopes, and concerns, promoting environmental protection, preserving the ecosystems, and providing more quality eco-products. Humanity is a community that rises and falls as one. Protecting the eco-environment is a common challenge and a joint responsibility for the whole world. Success in this endeavor will be good for Chinese socialism. Otherwise, it will become a pretext for forces with ulterior motives to attack us. Since humanity entered the industrial age, rapid traditional industrialization, while bringing about great material wealth, has accelerated the consumption of natural resources and broken the original cycle and balance of the ecosystems, resulting in a tense relationship between humanity and nature. Since the 1930s, a number of environmental incidents have occurred in Western countries, causing huge losses, which have shocked the world and triggered a profound reflection on the development model of capitalism. In the process of more than 200 years of modernization, industrialization was realized in no more than 30 countries with a total population of no more than 1 billion. If we promote eco-environmental progress and build China, the largest developing country with a population of more than 1.3 billion, into a modern socialist country that is prosperous, strong, democratic, culturally advanced, harmonious, and beautiful, The influence of our achievement will be worldwide. Since the 18th CPC National Congress in 2012, our party has put forward a series of new concepts, ideas, and strategies in answering the important theoretical and practical questions of why pursue eco-environmental progress, what the goal is, and how to achieve it. In order to succeed in this endeavor in the new era, we must adhere to the following principles. First, we must pursue the harmonious coexistence between humanity and nature. Humanity and nature are a community of life. There is no substitute for the current eco-environment. When we use it, we take it for granted. But once damaged, it will struggle to recover. Heaven and earth coexist with me. All things and I are one. Footnote 4. Zhuangzi. End of footnote 4. Heaven and earth do not speak, yet the seasons change and all things grow. Footnote 5. Li Bai. Letter to Pei Quan, Governor Secretary of Anzhou Prefecture. Shang Anzhou, Pei Zhang Shi Shu. End of footnote 5. When human beings make rational use of nature and protect it, the rewards of nature are often generous. When human beings rudely exploit and plunder nature, the punishment is bound to be merciless. It is an immutable law that harm caused by human actions to nature will eventually hurt human beings themselves. All things must be in harmony with nature to grow, and obtain from nature to thrive. Footnote 6. Xunzi. Circa 325 to 238 BC, was a philosopher, thinker, and educator in the Warring States period. End of footnote 6. There are many vivid examples. One of them is Dujiangyan, a large-scale water conservancy project on the Minjiang River near the city of Chengdu on the Chengdu Plain in southwest China's Sichuan province. When it was first built in the Warring States period more than 2,000 years ago, the flood patterns of the Minjiang River and the topography of the Chengdu Plain were important factors to be considered. The project is still in use today. It has benefited generations of local residents. In the whole process of economic development, we must adhere to the principle of giving priority to conservation, protection, and the restoration of nature. We should not think about taking from nature without giving back, developing without protecting, and consuming without restoring. We should protect the eco-environment as we protect our eyes, and cherish it as we cherish our own lives. We should lay the groundwork for long-term benefits, take concrete steps to protect nature, restore the ecosystems, and create a beautiful environment. We should make it possible for people to enjoy the natural landscape and retain their love of nature, while returning serenity, harmony, and beauty back to nature. Second, clear waters and green mountains are invaluable assets. This is an important concept of development and a major principle behind our modernization drive. It emphasizes the relationship between economic development and eco-environmental protection. This means preserving and developing productive forces. It points out a new way to coordinate development and protection. Clear waters and green mountains are not only natural and ecological wealth, but also social and economic wealth. Protecting the eco-environment means protecting nature's value and adding value to nature's capital, protecting the potential of economic and social development, and giving full play to the ecological, social, and economic effects of nature. Eco-environmental problems are, after all, the results of our development model and our way of life. In order to fundamentally solve the problems, we must put into practice the vision of innovative, coordinated, green, open, and shared development and accelerate the formation of spatial configurations, industrial structure, production models, and lifestyles that favor resource conservation and environmental protection. We must also keep economic and human activities within the carrying capacity of natural resources and the eco-environment, leaving time and space for nature to recuperate. We should move faster to draw and enforce red lines for the protection of the ecosystems, the quality of the environment, and rational resource utilization, crossing these red lines by continuing the extensive growth model and through unlimited plundering of existing resources at the expense of future generations will no longer be tolerated. To enforce these red lines, it is necessary to establish a strict and unified system to manage with consistent standards all major environmental spaces. By doing so, we will ensure that ecological functions will not weaken and environmental areas will not decrease. We will continue to conserve these areas. Environmental quality cannot be allowed to drop further. It must only improve. Local party and government officials must be held accountable if their region's ecosystems are seriously damaged and their environment deteriorates. As to resource utilization, we must ensure proper exploitation within the bearing capacity of natural resources, taking into consideration not only the needs of humans and of today, but also the needs of nature and of the future. Third, a good eco-environment is the most inclusive form of public well-being. We should choose to do things that win the approval of the people and avoid doing things that they oppose. A good environment is part of the public's well-being. Green mountains and blue skies bring delight and happiness to the people. Economic development contributes to improving people's well-being. So does eco-environmental protection. We should create more material and cultural wealth to meet the people's growing expectation for a better life and effectively preserve the ecosystems to meet their growing expectation for a beautiful environment. We must pursue environmental benefits for the people with the emphasis on solving prominent problems that threaten their health. We must accelerate this work, provide more quality eco-products, and realize social fairness and justice. Eco-environmental progress is a common cause that requires the participation and contribution of the general public. Its results will also be shared by the people. To build a beautiful China, we should transform our efforts into conscientious action on the part of all. Each and every individual is a protector, builder, and beneficiary, and no one should be a bystander, an outsider, or a critic. No one should remain aloof and pay only lip service. We must enhance people's awareness of resource conservation, environmental protection, and a healthy ecosystem. We need to cultivate eco-friendly ethics and codes of conduct, launch nationwide green environment campaigns, and encourage the whole of society to contribute to environmental protection by reducing pollution and consumption of energy and other resources. Fourth, mountains, rivers, forests, farmlands, lakes, and grasslands are a community of life. An ecosystem is an integrated natural system of interdependent and closely related ecological chains. The lifeline of humans rests with farmlands, that of farmlands with water, that of water with mountains, and that of mountains with earth, and that of earth with forests and grasslands. This community of life is the material basis for the survival and development of humanity. We should take a broad and long-term view. We must try to avoid earning a little only to lose a lot, or attending to one thing and losing sight of others. Otherwise, our actions are bound to cause systematic and long-lasting damage. In order to seek a new way of governance from a systematic and broader perspective, we must no longer take a fragmented and palliative approach that only treats the symptoms, nor can we care for our own business and hold others back. Instead, we must make an overall plan that takes all relevant factors into consideration and adopt multiple measures simultaneously to advance eco-environmental progress in all respects. For instance, to achieve the best results in a systematic control of water pollution, it is necessary to consider a comprehensive range of factors concerning a body of water, riverbanks on both sides, upstream and downstream, surface water and groundwater, rivers, oceans, aquatic ecosystems, water resources, pollution prevention and control, and environmental protection. We will further integrate the protection and restoration of mountains, rivers, forests, farmlands, lakes and grasslands, carry out large-scale afforestation campaigns, and speed up the comprehensive control of soil erosion, desertification, and stony desertification. In developing the Yangtze River Economic Belt, we will strive to set up conservation of the Yangtze River, stop overdevelopment, and prioritize environmental protection and green development. All economic activities involving the Yangtze River must be conditional on not damaging the river's ecosystem. Fifth, we should protect the eco-environment with the strictest regulations and laws. Eco-environmental protection relies on laws and regulations. Most of the outstanding environmental problems in China result from incomplete systems, the lack of appropriate rules and enforceable laws, inadequate implementation, and ineffective punishment. We must speed up institutional innovation, put in place more regulations, improve support systems, and strengthen their implementation. Regulations must be made mandatory so that they become a powerful deterrent. We must use rules to supervise officials and their exercise of power in protecting blue skies and increasing green coverage. We must associate power with responsibility and accountability so as to ensure the implementation of the CPC Central Committee's policies and plans for building an eco-civilization. A country is strong when its law enforcement is strong. It is weak when its law enforcement is weak. The power of laws and decrees can only be established through their enforcement. The efficacy of rules lies in their implementation. We have introduced a series of reform measures and related rules. They must be carried out as strictly as the central inspection of environmental protection. The binding force and authority of the institutions must be firmly established, and selective implementation and perfunctory enforcement must be banned. It is necessary to implement the accountability system among leading officials for protecting our eco-environment and strictly assess their performance. Those who make ill-judged decisions that cause harmful consequences must be held accountable and for life. We must never be lenient in punishing actions that damage our eco-environment. We will strike hard at typical cases that cause damage to the eco-environment and send out the signal that the perpetrators will be severely punished. Anyone who damages the environment, no matter where or when, shall face the consequences. The institutions must not become a paper tiger. Sixth, we should work together to promote a global eco-civilization. The eco-environment bears on the future of humanity. Building a green home is our common dream. Protecting the environment and dealing with climate change requires the joint efforts of all countries. No country can distance itself or remain immune from such challenges. China has become an important participant, contributor, and leader in promoting a global eco-civilization. We advocate jointly building a clean and beautiful world that respects nature and favors green development. China will be heavily involved in global environmental governance, have a bigger say and greater influence, play an active part in the transformation of the international order, and help form global solutions to eco-environmental protection and to sustainable development. We must always adopt the environment-friendly approach and play a constructive role in international cooperation on climate change. We will promote the philosophy and practice of eco-environmental progress in the Belt and Road Initiative to benefit the peoples of all countries along the Belt and Road. Win the battle against pollution. Part of the speech at the National Conference on Eco-Environmental Pollution, May 18th, 2018. In the report to the 19th CPC National Congress in 2017, I said that we must focus on priorities, address shortcomings, and shore up points of weakness, and emphasized that we must take firm steps to forestall and diffuse major risks, carry out targeted poverty alleviation, and prevent and control pollution, so that we build a moderately prosperous society that earns the people's approval and stands the test of time. Now, we should concentrate our strengths and enact more effective policy measures to win this tough battle. First, we should develop a system for creating an eco-civilization. We should resolve environmental problems at this critical juncture of history. For this purpose, we must foster a culture promoting eco-values, an economy highlighting eco-friendly industries and industrialization of environmental protection activities, a responsibility system for achieving the goal of improving the eco-environment, a complete support system for ensuring eco-environmental protection through modernized governance, and a security system prioritizing well-functioning ecosystems and effective control of environmental risks. By accelerating the pace of this work, we can achieve a remarkable improvement in the quality and efficiency of China's economic development. By 2035, we will put in place a land use planning system, industrial structure, mode of production, and way of life, all of which are resource saving and environment friendly. The eco-environment will be much better. The basic modernization of China's eco-environmental governance system and capacity will be achieved, and the goal of building a beautiful China will be generally realized. By the middle of the century, we will develop China into a modern socialist country that is prosperous, strong, democratic, culturally advanced, harmonious, and beautiful. By the end of this stage, we will reach new heights in every dimension of material, political, cultural, social, and eco-environmental progress. A green mode of development and a green way of life will be established, characterized by harmonious coexistence between humanity and nature. Our national eco-environmental governance system and capacity will be fully modernized, and we will complete the task of building a beautiful China. Second, we should push for green development across the board. Green symbolizes life and nature. A healthy eco-environment is the foundation for the better life that the people are anticipating. Green development is a key component of China's new vision of innovative, coordinated, green, open, and shared development. These 5 concepts interact with and complement each other. Green development is a must for profound reform in all respects and for building a high-quality modern economy. The goal is to change the traditional economic model characterized by massive production, massive consumption, and massive emissions so that resources, production, and consumption are imbalanced. As a result, social and economic development can operate in tandem with environmental protection, and humanity and nature can coexist in harmony. A green development model is the fundamental solution to pollution. Only by reducing pollutant discharges at source can we make significant improvements to the eco-environment. We should focus on adjusting the economic structure and energy mix, optimizing the industrial and land use configuration, strengthening industries, and stepping up environmental protection in all respects, from production to consumption. A change in the economic structure and energy mix can promote economic growth and reduce pollutant discharges. We should conduct environmental assessments of major economic policies and industrial projects and make the best use of land and land resources by adjusting industrial development plans in regions and major river basins. We should foster stronger energy-saving and eco-friendly industries, clean production industries, clean energy industries, highly efficient agriculture, advanced manufacturing, and modern service industries. We should encourage resource conservation and recycling across the board and adopt circular use of resources in production and in everyday life. Green ways of life can be applied to food and clothing, housing, and transport. We encourage simple, moderate, green, and low-carbon ways of life and oppose extravagance and excessive consumption. We should launch initiatives to make party and government institutions more conservation conscious and develop eco-friendly families, schools, communities, and transport services. By embracing green living, we can make our mode of production more eco-friendly. Third, We should give top priority to addressing eco-environmental problems and improving people's lives. We shall spare no effort to do the smallest things if they benefit the people, and steer clear of even the smallest things that might harm the people. We must fight a tough battle against pollution and secure major victories, concentrating our efforts on resolving prominent environmental problems that directly affect people's lives. Severe air pollution, black, fetid water bodies, piled up trash, and a deteriorating rural environment are major and immediate public concerns. These problems, severely disturbing people's work and life, are the source of many public complaints and can even disturb the social order. We must overcome these problems. We should leverage our strengths, rally all possible forces, and get everyone involved in this tough battle against pollution. We need to gain one success after another with the support of the people. To improve the air quality is our top priority. It is an earnest expectation of the Chinese people and also a promise we have made to the international community as hosts of the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympic Games. In curbing air pollution, we should first and foremost target the Beijing, Tianjin, Hebei region and its surrounding area, the Yangtze River Delta, and the Fenhe, Weihe River Plain, focusing particularly on Beijing. A substantial improvement in air quality is an unconditional requirement. We need to reinforce a concerted effort to prevent and control air pollution, putting an end to severe pollution, and bringing back blue skies. We must restructure industries, reducing excess and outdated capacity, and creating new growth drivers. We should enforce upgrading in badly polluting sectors to achieve compliance with environmental standards and achieve ultra-low emissions in thermal power, steel, and other industries. We will tighten up regulation of enterprises that do not comply with national industrial policies or local industrial planning, have not yet acquired the approval of relevant authorities, or do not meet environmental standards. Depending on their respective conditions, some of these enterprises will be closed, some reformed and upgraded, and others moved to industrial parks. We need to change our energy mix, reducing coal use and developing clean energy. We need to take multiple measures simultaneously in conformity with local conditions. We have resolved to provide winter heating from clean energy sources in northern China, replacing coal with natural gas and/or electricity wherever it is appropriate. We need to establish a system for the production, supply, storage, and sale of natural gas as soon as possible, and optimize distribution of the sources of natural gas. We need to enhance connectivity across different gas pipeline networks and guarantee gas supply. After replacing coal with electricity and natural gas, we need to provide subsidies and favorable prices to ensure they are accessible and affordable. We need to make greater efforts to eliminate individual coal-fired boilers and suspend operations of outdated coal-fired power plants that are sources of serious pollution and quicken the pace of their transformation and upgrading. We must restructure transport, reducing the use of road, increasing the use of rail, and cutting down emissions from diesel-powered freight vehicles. In order to improve their performance and efficiency, we need to upgrade, integrate, and scale up freight transport businesses and encourage chain store type operations. We should continue to implement our action plans for preventing and controlling water pollution. We will give priorities to protecting water sources, cleaning up black, fetid water bodies in urban areas, improving the Bohai Sea water through comprehensive measures, and protecting and restoring the Yangtze River ecosystem. Our goal is to guarantee drinking water safety. In water pollution control, we have many problems to resolve. One of the most pressing tasks is to improve our facilities for the collection and disposal of urban sewage. We have so much to improve in this regard. According to the reports from the Central Environmental Protection Inspection Teams, discharge of untreated sewage is still prevalent in some of the municipalities directly under the central government, in developed coastal provinces, and in special economic zones. To realize full coverage of the piped sewage network and full collection and disposal of urban sewage, we should set a must-reach goal and fulfill it by all possible means. Failing this, our efforts of cleaning up would be wasted. We should fully enforce the Action Plan on Soil Pollution Control and promulgate and implement a law on the prevention and control of soil pollution. We should target key regions, industries, and pollutants to enhance soil pollution control and soil restoration and forestall risks effectively, so as to provide safe food and safe residence for the people. We will sharply reduce the variety and quantity of imported solid wastes prior to imposing a total ban on all imports of garbage. Environmental violations concerning hazardous wastes will be harshly punished, and we will stop the illegal transfer, dumping, utilization, and disposal of hazardous wastes. The rural environment has a direct impact on food and water supplies, as well as on the urban environment. We should adjust agricultural input, reducing the use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides, increasing the use of organic fertilizers, and improving the recycling and disposal of plastic mulch waste. We should continue to improve rural living environments of all the villages across the country. Our main tasks are to improve garbage collection and sewage disposal, and build sufficient, clean, and safe toilets. By doing so, we will build the countryside into a big garden full of birds and flowers. Eco-environmental conservation and pollution prevention and control are inseparable. The two function like a fraction, with the latter as the numerator and the former the denominator. To better protect the environment, we must minimize the numerator by reducing pollutant discharges and maximize the denominator by enlarging the environmental carrying capacity. We should ensure that no red lines for protecting the ecosystems are ever crossed, systematically monitor the conservation of mountains, rivers, forests, farmlands, lakes, and grasslands, and strengthen oversight of environmental issues at every stage. Rather than redeveloping urban land made available after the demolition of illegal structures, we should turn it into green spaces where the people can enjoy their leisure. Fourth, we should forestall eco-environmental risks effectively. Eco-security is a key element of national security and an important guarantee for sound and sustained social and economic development. Nip the problem in the bud when it is in the making. Prepare yourself for risks yet to emerge. Footnote 1. Liu Shu et al. Old Book of Tang, Jiu Tang Shu, Liu Shu, 887 to 946, was an official and historian during the 5 dynasties. End of footnote 1. We should be highly alert to the accumulation and spread of all kinds of eco-environmental risks and be prepared to meet the challenges they pose. We should bring eco-environmental risks under management on a regular basis and build a multi-tiered risk management system covering the whole process of social and economic development. We need to impose tight controls on waste incineration and paraxylene pollution, prevent and resolve NIMBY, not in my backyard, problems concerning projects with a significant environmental impact, and improve our emergency response capacity for environmental accidents. We need to enhance nuclear and radiation safety regulation and supervision and improve our regulatory and supervisory mechanisms and capacity in order to ensure absolute safety. Fifth, we should promote eco-environmental progress through further institutional reform. This is an important part of China's deeper, comprehensive reform. With the goal of resolving prominent environmental problems, we should ensure the implementation of existing measures and formulate new plans in a timely manner. We must see that our measures concerning institutional reform for eco-environmental progress are put in place and play their role. The Central Environmental Protection Inspection Teams should strengthen their authority, appoint capable personnel, and make further progress. We should explore sustainable ways to realize the value of eco-products under the guidance of the government, with the participation of business and all other sectors of society, and through market-based operation. To this end, we should launch pilot programs first to gather experience. We should improve our systems for assessing the honesty and accuracy of claims about performance in environmental protection, for ensuring mandatory release of environmental information, and for imposing severe punishments on environmental violations. In the current round of reform involving party and state institutions, the CPC Central Committee has decided to establish the Ministry of Ecology and Environment. We have two considerations. First, we must integrate government functions in pollution prevention and control to provide effective institutional support for this tough task. Second, in terms of environmental conservation and restoration, we must strengthen unified regulation and supervision of all things above and below ground, on shore, and in water, on land, and at sea, and in urban and rural areas, targeting both carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide emissions, and ensure that red lines for protecting the ecosystems are not crossed. Relevant authorities must perform their duties, formulate uniform policies, plans, and standards, and work concertedly in monitoring and evaluation, in oversight and law enforcement, in inspection and in enforcing accountability. To establish unified law enforcement in environmental protection, we need to reorganize law enforcement agencies responsible for environmental protection and streamline their responsibilities in accordance with the principle of shortening their chains of command and improving their efficiency. We need to improve the mechanisms for managing the eco-environment of regions, river basins, and sea bodies, accelerate our pilot programs on establishing trans-regional environmental protection agencies, and integrate the atmospheric environment management responsibilities of relevant central departments and local governments. We will establish regulatory and law enforcement authorities for river basin environment to achieve better synergy. We need to improve marine environmental management mechanisms by setting up regulatory institutions responsible for different sea bodies. Sixth, we should improve eco-environmental governance. This is a systematic program that requires multiple combined approaches involving administration, market, law, and technology. We should fully leverage the market to boost environmental protection and direct more private capital into this area. We should improve resource and environment pricing mechanisms and include environmental costs into the cost of economic activities. We should use various means to support the cooperation between government and private capital on environmental protection. In protecting the environment, we must pay out every penny required. We must ensure that our investments in pollution control are commensurate with the level of difficulties of the tasks concerned. We should devote more effort to key scientific research projects, such as identifying the causes of severe air pollution and curbing such pollution, and the comprehensive environmental governance of the Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei region. We need to carry out specialized and forward-looking research on the control of the ozone, volatile organic compounds, and new pollutants. We need to conduct countermeasure studies on major environmental issues having a vital bearing on social and economic development, and encourage the application of research results to support informed and effective decision-making, environmental management, targeted pollution control, and public services. To demonstrate that China is a major and responsible country and to build a global community of shared future, we should actively respond to climate change as a national strategy and push for the establishment of a fair and rational global climate governance system directed towards cooperation and win-win results. Build a green and beautiful homeland for all. Speech at the opening ceremony of the International Horticultural Exhibition 2019 in Beijing, April 28, 2019. Your Excellencies, heads of state and government, and your spouses, your Excellencies, Secretary General of the International Bureau of Expositions and President of the International Association of Horticultural Producers, your Excellencies, diplomatic envoys and representatives of international organizations, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. The land bathes in the spring sunshine, and the wind sends the aromas of grass and flowers. Footnote 1. Du fu, 2 quatrains, Zhui Ju Er Shu. End of footnote 1. It is apt to quote these lines from a classic poem to depict Beijing in April. Spring has come back and all lives are reviving. I am pleased to be here with all of you at the foot of the Great Wall by the Guishui River to witness the opening of the 2019 Beijing International Horticultural Exhibition. On behalf of the Chinese government and the people, and also in my own name, I would like to extend our warmest welcome to all of you and our heartfelt thanks to all friends who are supporting and participating in this exhibition. Themed, Live Green, Live Better, the Beijing International Horticultural Exhibition aims to promote respect for the environment and a better life in harmony with nature. It is our hope that this expo park, designed to blend into its splendid surrounding landscape, will demonstrate to people in all corners of the world China's vision of green development. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, home to the Chinese nation, this vast and splendid land of China has nurtured a brilliant 5,000-year civilization and its philosophy of harmony between humanity and nature. Advancing eco-environmental progress has become part of China's overall plan for national development, and building a beautiful country continues to inspire the Chinese people. As China steps up its conservation efforts, a country with more blue skies, lush mountains, and lucid waters will emerge. The rise or fall of a society is dependent on its relationship with nature if we see it from a historical perspective. Industrialization, while generating unprecedented material wealth, has caused serious damage to nature. Development without thought to the future of the earth is not a sustainable way to progress, like killing the goose that lays the golden eggs or draining the pond to get all the fish. Green development that focuses on harmony with nature and eco-friendly progress shows the way to the future. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, we see myriads of glittering stars when we look up at the night sky, but the earth is the only home we have. We must protect this planet as we protect our own eyes and cherish Mother Nature the way we treasure life. We must preserve what gives our planet life and embrace green development. We should pursue harmony between humanity and nature, lush mountains, vast tracts of forest, blue skies, green fields, singing birds, and blossoming flowers offer more than visual beauty. They are the basis for our future development. Nature punishes those who exploit and plunder it brutally, and rewards those who use and protect it carefully. We must maintain the overall balance of the Earth's ecosystems, not only to ensure that future generations can continue to access material wealth, but also to protect their right to enjoy the wonders of the natural world. We ought to achieve economic prosperity through green development. Green is the color of nature. I have always said that clear waters and green mountains are invaluable assets, and that eco-environmental improvement leads to greater productivity. Healthy ecosystems promise boundless economic potential, generate steady returns, and contribute to economic and social sustainability. We need to foster a love of nature. Well-measured exploration and use of resources is the key to eco-environmental progress. We should encourage a healthy lifestyle that is simple, green, and low carbon, and reject extravagant and excessive practices. Additionally, it is essential to raise people's awareness of environmental and ecological protection and develop an environmental governance system in which the whole of society participates so that the eco-environment will become a primary focus of daily life. We need to advocate the value of green development grounded in respect and care for nature so that blue skies, green fields, and clean waters will be deeply cherished by all. We should adopt a sound approach. In environmental governance, we should follow the laws of nature, make holistic and well-informed plans, do what is appropriate in light of local circumstances, and create harmonious ecosystems in which all elements coexist in tandem with each other. Human wisdom is essential to sustaining the dynamism of Earth, our common homeland. Although environmental governance is an arduous task, we will ultimately obtain the expected results as long as we take the right steps. We must press ahead with a sense of urgency and perseverance to achieve our goals. We need to join hands to meet common challenges. A beautiful homeland is the shared aspiration of humanity. In the face of environmental challenges, all countries are a community with a common stake, and no country can remain aloof. Only together can we effectively address climate change, marine pollution, biological conservation, and other global environmental issues and achieve the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Only concerted efforts can drive home the idea of green development and bring about steady progress in building a global eco-civilization. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, many of the guests here also attended the Second Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation, which closed yesterday. We reached an important consensus at the forum that our Belt and Road cooperation will build a road of green development in addition to a road of open development. China is ready to work with all other countries to create a better homeland and a global community of shared future. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, every generation has its own mission. Our efforts to conserve our ecosystems will benefit not only this generation, but many more to come. By acting now on our own initiative, we will pass on the baton of conservation to future generations. I now declare the 2019 International Horticultural Exhibition open. Major goals for eco-conservation and quality development of the Yellow River Basin. Part of the speech at the Forum on the Eco-Conservation and Quality Development of the Yellow River Basin. September 18th, 2019. I have pointed out that to harness the Yellow River, priority should be given to eco-environmental conservation, and the key lies in eco-environmental governance. We need to protect mountains, waters, forests, farmlands, lakes, and grasslands, and address all degradation at the source in a coordinated way. We should strengthen coordination and cooperation in our work to promote high-quality development of the Yellow River Basin. Lucid waters and lush mountains are invaluable assets. We must act on this understanding, advance eco-environmental conservation as a priority, and pursue green development. We should use the water resources of the Yellow River as its capacity permits and adopt differentiated measures appropriate to local conditions. We need to make comprehensive plans and joint efforts to protect the ecosystem along the upper and lower reaches, the trunk, stream, and tributaries, and along both banks of the Yellow River. We should better protect and restore its ecosystem, keep the Yellow River harnessed, promote high-quality development of the Yellow River Basin, improve local people's lives, and preserve and keep alive the Yellow River culture. By making these efforts, we can make the Yellow River deliver more benefits to our people. To be specific, we need to do the following. First, strengthen eco-environmental protection. We should take into account the different conditions on the upper, middle, and lower reaches of the Yellow River and protect its ecosystem as a whole. In the upper reaches, we need to launch a number of key programs for protecting, restoring, and developing the local ecosystem and improving water conservation, particularly in the Sanjiang Yuan Natural Reserve in Qinghai, the Qilian Mountains area bordering Qinghai and Gansu, and the Gannan Water Conservation Area in Gansu. In the middle reaches, we need to focus on soil and water conservation and pollution control. Conserving soil and water does not just mean digging pits and planting trees. As the low S plateau has less rainfall before taking action, we should find out whether the land is suitable for tree planting and what varieties are appropriate. Where conditions permit, more rain-fed terraces and silt trap dams should be built. In some places, we need to improve natural eco-restoration, reduce human interference, and thus improve the climatic conditions there. We must step up efforts to clean up severely polluted tributaries, such as the Fenhe River. In the lower reaches, the Yellow River Delta is the most intact wetland ecosystem in China's warm temperate zone. We must keep it well protected, maintain a sound river ecosystem, and increase biodiversity. Second, keep the Yellow River harnessed. The river contains too much sediment. The imbalance in its sediment-water ratio is the root cause of complicated problems causing natural disasters along the river. Although the Yellow River has not caused many problems in recent years, we must not slacken our efforts, and we should do more to remove potential hazards. When the Yellow River is harnessed, China is serene. With this in mind, we must make every effort to adjust the sediment-water ratio of the Yellow River. We need to improve sediment monitoring and resolve the problem whereby too many government departments are involved in water management. We need to adopt a holistic approach to cleaning up the water courses and mudflats, mitigate sedimentation in the lower reaches, and ensure safety along both banks of the Yellow River. Third, promote efficient and economical utilization of water resources. The Yellow River's water supply is limited. Eco-conservation programs need water. Economic development needs water. And people need water in their everyday lives. We must be keenly aware that water is not a limitless natural resource, and we should utilize the Yellow River as its capacity permits. We must make plans for population distribution as well as urban and industrial development in accordance with the water resources available. We must discourage unnecessary water demands, develop water-saving industries and technologies, promote water saving in agriculture, and encourage the public to save water so as to stop wasteful water consumption and ensure efficient and economical water consumption. Fourth, promote high-quality development of the Yellow River Basin. At the 5th meeting of the Central Commission for Finance and Economy on August 26th, I emphasized the need to encourage different regions to leverage their comparative strengths and enhance the dynamics for quality development. The local governments along the Yellow River should act in keeping with local conditions, use the water and mountain resources, grow crops, and develop agriculture, industry, or business as conditions permit, so as to blaze a new trail of high-quality development with distinctive local features. However, in Sanjiang Yuan, the Qilian Mountains, and other important eco-functional areas, priority should be placed not on industry and business, but on protection of the local ecosystem, conservation of water resources, and development of more eco-products. In the He Tao irrigation area in Inner Mongolia, Fenhe, Weihe, River Plain, and other major grain production areas, more should be done to develop modern agriculture and improve the quality of farm products, thereby contributing to national food security. Regional hub cities and other localities with better economic conditions should pursue efficient development and improve their economic and population carrying capacity. Poor areas should improve infrastructure and public services and ensure people's well-being. The Yellow River Basin should take an active part in the Belt and Road Initiative and pursue high-standard opening up to promote reform and development. Fifth, preserve, promote, and keep alive the Yellow River culture. The Yellow River culture, which is an important part of Chinese civilization, is the origin and soul of the Chinese nation. We should preserve in a systematic way the Yellow River cultural heritage, an invaluable legacy from our ancestors. We need to explore the worth of the Yellow River culture in our era, promote the Yellow River culture, pass down our cultural traditions, and build stronger cultural confidence to realize the Chinese dream of national rejuvenation. End of audiobook, part 14.